This last week, Kawasaki announced a significant update to their ZX-10R and its World Superbike homologation special, the ZX-10RR, as well as some electronic enhancements to their supercharged naked, the ZH2. So in today's video, we'll go over all of the details of these new 2021 bikes to find out what's new for the next model year. But before we get started, if you're new here and you want to see all of the latest new bike news for 2021, then please do remember to hit subscribe. I'll be covering as many of them as possible over the next couple of months whilst the launches come thick and fast, so be sure to subscribe if you want to see those videos as soon as they go live. The most striking difference in the new ZX-10R is the visual refresh with a more angular look that's more in line with Kawasaki's other recent designs. Here's a side-by-side with the previous generation so that you can see for yourself. Personally, I think it looks more up to date whilst retaining that classic ninja silhouette. But in reworking the fairings, Kawasaki have also sought to improve downforce, claiming that the innovative integrated winglets incorporated into the structure of the cowling create additional downforce which is approximately 17% greater than the current ZX-10R. They've also fitted a 40mm taller screen whilst changing the design of the pillion seat area in order to create a low pressure behind the rider, both of which enhance aerodynamics still further. A revised handlebar position and 5mm higher pegs should also help the rider into a tuck with a more track-focused feel to the ergonomics. In terms of electronics, the ZX-10R now gets a 4.3 full-color TFT dash with Bluetooth connectivity, which opens up the possibility of connecting to Kawasaki's Rideology app. The app makes it possible to see ride data and bike settings as well as receive calls and messages on the dash. All of the rider aids of the previous generation are carried over, such as traction control, ABS, launch control, and engine braking control, with an IMU on hand to enable their cornering management function. But for 2021, electronic cruise control is also now fitted as standard for those long stints on the motorway. Lighting has also been updated with LEDs used all round, with a direct projection unit headlamp from Mitsubishi, which Kawasaki say has luminous optical modules, which are adopted for motorcycle use for the very first time. Kawasaki have also made some tweaks to the chassis with a 1mm lower swing arm pivot point, 8mm longer swing arm, and 2mm greater fork offset, all combining for a claimed improvement in stability and traction. Suspension settings have also been revised, with both the Showa fork and shock getting new spring rates. The front is now softer whilst the rear is firmer, and an increased clamping area on the lower triple clamp is said to improve rigidity. Brakes remain the same, with Brembo's M50 radially mounted monoblock calipers on hand up front, but the 998cc inline-4 engine gets some subtle enhancements. The first three gears have been shortened to improve acceleration, the inlet port has been redesigned, the oil cooler improved, and a revised exhaust system ensures that the ZX-10R passes the upcoming Euro 5 emissions regulations. Peak power remains at 200 horsepower, 13,200 RPM, which ought to be ample for most of us, but if you do want to push on a little, Kawasaki will be making a limited run of 500 World Superbike homologation specials in the form of the ZX-10RR. This version gets upgraded engine internals with Pankel lightweight conrods, low friction pistons, and machined piston pins which help it to rev slightly higher than the R for a couple of extra horsepower. It also gets a single seat setup, Marcassini wheels, an adjustable swing arm pivot, and braided hoses for an extra crispy feel at the brake lever. The ZX-10R will be available in either green, black and white or a flat black finish, whilst the ZX-10RR is just available in flat lime green. The R is expected in dealers from May, costing £15,799, whilst the RR is only available for race teams on request, costing £24,799. On top of the revised ZX-10R and RR comes a new version of their supercharged super naked, the ZH2 SE. It's pretty much the same as the base ZH2, but with some extra spec to elevate it just that little bit further, and its own SE finish. The most notable upgrade on this SE version is the Showa Skyhook electronically adaptive suspension. Kawasaki say that with a 1 millisecond reaction time, Skyhook adjusts the damping electronically to suit vehicle speed and suspension stroke speed, with the intention of keeping the body of the vehicle in a constant altitude whilst the wheels and suspension follow the dips and deviations in the road surface. Deceleration is also considered, allowing the pitching that occurs under braking to be managed. The SE also gets the same 4.3-inch TFT dash as the ZX-10s with the Bluetooth connectivity to boot, as well as LED lighting all round. The finish is described as gold and blazed green with Diablo black for a bit more of a Kawasaki vibe than the other ZH2 colour schemes. It's expected in dealers from March next year and will start at £18,349. So that's a couple of neat updates to the Kawasaki lineup for 2021, with the ZX-10R in that Kawasaki Racing green, white, red and black looking particularly tasty to me. Let me know your favourite down in the comments below, and if you're new here and you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe and I'll catch you next time.